stop swearing.
I was going to say.
Is that like the Big Brother? You are now live from the Big Brother house.
Yes. See what occurs.
Yeah.
I'm hoping now the people will join.
Well, it could be very lonely if they
Go
don't.
live
It
on
could be the three of
LinkedIn now
us.
as well.
Just the three of us talking the usual garbage that we talk anyway.
We'll keep on. I mean, I've got another thing here. You know, I could put that up.
Yeah, excellent.
I'll stick with that one for the time being.
You see, that one I can answer quite well because
yes, talk about
that. Yeah, we'll come on to that. My first sort of accountable of AI had a completely different meaning back in about 1986 when I came.
We'll talk about that as well.
You know, absolutely.
In fact, we'll probably start on that. It's
a
minute away. So get your cups of tea, wet your whistle, turn your phone off. It's typical, isn't it?
I know to be perfectly honest, my phone's just pinged me to tell me that her Honourable, Ethical and Accountable is about to go live.
Happening now, it says.
It is.
Yeah.
As soon as it blocks 10:15, we're going to start. So there we go. It's
10:15. That's it.
We're all ready. So we're just calling this first thing. It's Honourable, Ethical, and Accountable. We've got Honourable, which is Iain. Iain, tell us about just quickly. How are you honourable, mate?
Well, that's a good question, to be honest, Roy. But I mean, of course, we're the honourable profession. I mean, you know, it has to be done, doesn't it?
The honourable profession.
A gentleman and a scholar, sir. A gentleman and a scholar.
Indeed. Iain Bould from Beeston, Shenton. Ethical. Well, that had to be the sales guy, didn't it?
There's a contradiction in terms, isn't it?
It is. But no, I deny that. So Roy Johnson from Sandler. And accountable is, well, Aludia. Tell us about how you're accountable.
Yeah, so basically, I head our tech department. So we have an accountancy firm. So I suppose that's where the accountables come from. But yeah, we're based in Staffordshire. So
marvelous. So what we're here to talk about today is AI in our respective business. AI seems to, I think if you said to people a year ago, a lot of people be scratching their head going, what the hell is that? Now it's on everybody's lips. And if you go back to when Iain was a boy, Iain, what was AI when you was a lad?
So when I were a lad and more into the farming industry, AI had a completely different meaning, and it basically meant glass straws, long plastic gloves, and a startled look on a cow's face, usually.
What did AI mean then?
Artificial insemination.
Oh, well, I think they don't call it that now. They just call it genetics now. I had a client who dealt with that, and they just called it genetics. They didn't call it artificial insemination anymore.
No, that was and every so often the AI man or the AI lady would come round to each farm with their peddling their wares, basically.
And just to clarify, I was going to say we are here for artificial intelligence and not insemination.
Yeah, I think we need some artificial intelligence here. We've got honourable, ethical, and accountable. Artificial intelligence is going to affect our businesses and the landscape in different ways. And I thought I'd just take it in the order that we've got honourable, ethical, and accountable. I thought I'd invite Iain to share where he's seen AI affecting the legal profession, and because there's a lot going on throughout all industries. But where do you see it, Iain? What are you feeling so far?
I mean, well, as you know, Roy, I mean, when the three of us first sat down to discuss doing these sort of projects, architects. We met in our large conference room. You and Aludia walked in, one of you with your iPad, one of you with your laptop, and me with my notebook and my pen. So that pretty much sums up the legal profession, doesn't it? We've just about come kicking and screaming into the 20th century. And whilst AI is creeping into the legal profession, at the moment, it seems to be two camps. There's either the doom and gloom brigade, or there's the saviours of the world. And where we're seeing it at the moment, very much so, is with regards to the onboarding of new clients. So doing all the due diligence and on that side of things. And I think you actually said, Roy, when we were just sort of having a chat earlier, that you'd had a look, and the closest or the most recent paper that you can find with regards to AI in the legal profession was about, what you said, about 2018, something like that.
Yeah, I was just looking, and it's called Horizon Scanning from the Law Society in 2018, May 2018 is
Yeah.
the latest one. Now things have happened since 2018.
They have.
I've got less hair. Ian's gone grayer.
Believe it.
And it's really what he was saying. And there's a great little picture in there that is talking about by 2023. The human aspect of law, the sort of legal assistance, AI's coming for them. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously doing a little bit of it, and I've actually found something a little bit more recent than that, which still May, but 2023, so we're only sort of 3 or 4 months out there. And the Council of Bars and Law Societies for Europe, there's a good one, though. So the CCBE, we like all of that side of things, has actually released a bit of a paper on it. And again, it's walk with some intrepidation is basically the warning. And while it can see that there's going to be various use of AI models within the legal profession, the paper actually identifies with regards to human rights, transparency, and accountability, which I know we're going to come on to in a little while. It actually does still say that it insists. So this is their paper, and it insists on the right to a human judge, which I had a bit of a chuckle about bit. So I mean, again, of a certain age. And so I don't think anytime soon, we're going to see the likes of Rimmer from Red Dwarf or Max Headroom conducting court hearings. Although it looks like you've come back, Roy. I was going to say you were doing a little bit of a Max Headroom moment then. So certainly at the moment, as I said to you, we're seeing it for onboarding new clients, uploading ID and things like that. That's definitely happening. Will it ever take the place of the traditional side of things? I don't know. I don't think it can. Is it here to stay? Absolutely. And is it going to be progressive? Yes. So, give us about another 50 years and the legal profession will have caught the rest of the world up.
Well, if I'm here in 50 years, we'll have a chat about it.
Well,
Aludia,
let's talk about. There'll definitely be robots walking in the street in 50 years' time.
Yeah, let's talk about accountancy and finance, which is your area of expertise with Sempar. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts? Because I mean, I've been doing a little bit of research.
Yeah, no, of course. I was going to say, I mean, AI is obviously an integral part of our business. We use it day in and out. We've been quite lucky, I suppose, that when we started the business 7 years ago, it's something that we were able to introduce, from inception, really. And it's certainly changed, how we run the business. We use AI to automate a lot of, manual processes. We use it to, create efficiencies internally and externally for our clients as well. We use it to reduce cost. to ultimately basically add value to our clients. We use it as a tool basically to be able to advise our clients to make sound commercial decisions. So it's been an absolute game changer for us, really.
I tell you, there's two polar opposites there, isn't there? There's the legal profession who are kicking and screaming, and I was as I was looking, at the World Economic Forum, Kay Firth Butterfield, the head of AI, did actually say pretty much what you said, Iain. We need human lawyers to ensure that we keep expanding and pushing forward with the law so as it doesn't atrophy. I guess
That's a
that's
good word.
there's a hell of a word for the morning. But what it does say is half of current legal tasks today can be replaced by AI. And I think both the legal profession and the accountancy and finance profession said the same thing, that it means that the professionals can go and do the stuff which is not mind numbing to push forward. But doesn't that mean that I mean, if half of the stuff is going to get taken up by AI, are we going to swallow up in the deep thinking, the people working in finance and legal, or are they just going to end up living in a cardboard box on the corner of the street?
That's a very contentious question there, Roy. I think I think there's going to always going to be a place for people, isn't there, in the legal profession? Yeah. And as I say, I mean,
Mars, I think, according to Elon Musk.
Well, there's a lot that will say either Mars or the bottom of a deep ocean or a lake. But I mean, it's something that's going to be we're going to have to grasp it. But I don't think it will change. It will make efficiencies, as Aludia says, but won't necessarily replace the workplace. I think it will just make things more efficient, more cost effective. On that side of things. But then, of course, you've got the flip side, which is the legal side of things as well, which is what about GDPR and all of that side of things, and holding data, and how secure is it? And there's a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Does AI in the legal profession allow, or the future of it, allow for more laws like GDPR to be policed and bought in and policed? I mean, GDPR was seismic at the time, and everyone sort of doffs the cap to it. But I mean, who really cares?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to, hasn't it? There's got to be provisions in place to protect all concerned.
So does AI allow for more laws to be made? That might be a good thing.
I presume we're talking about artificial insemination, artificial intelligence insemination now, are we? That was a slip of the tongue, wasn't
it? I mean, we could get better because we've got so many lawyers hanging around with nothing to do now because AI is doing their business. Are they going to start thinking up more laws just to make it miserable for the rest of us?
You better speak to Parliament about that one, Roy, I think. One for Parliament, there's one for you.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it's really interesting, and certainly, I mean, benefits in accounting and finance. There's so much data about. I mean, we've never been short of data, but the amount of data we've had access to, and looking for patterns in large data sets.
Yeah. But that's where kind of us humans or advisors come in. So we're here to basically analyze those data, use those data, so obviously help the client, be able to grow their business, and understand their journey and where they're trying to head to. And I don't think that's something that AI will certainly be able to replace. Like I said, you can certainly use AI to replace all the manual, data entry task that we do on a day-to-day basis. But in terms of that adding value part, again, that's where kind of we come in. So what we try and do here internally is we're trying to grow advisors rather than processes. Because from there, if we've got a team of advisors, then we've got a team of people who are going to be able to add value to our clients more rather than processing for them, because that's not going to add value to them. It's just doing tasks for HMRC and any compliance stuff really. So
that's a really interesting point. There's a couple of notes here that I'd like to come back to, and the way AI has gone over the past few weeks, it seems. Could we end up with our chatbot talking to your chatbot?
I don't see why not.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, I think that's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gosh, and chatbots arguing with each other. And the rest of us. I mean, the film. There's this Disney film, Wall-E, Pixar film, where you got basically all these rotund people sitting in floating chairs, driving around a spaceship, drinking milkshakes, while the robots did everything else. So okay. We've got one thing that's a particular bugbear of mine is I seem to spend a couple of hours each week resetting passwords and trying to get into things that are passwords have expired and getting notifications about passwords and fraud. Now, I guess there's one of the things been recognized within the accountancy profession is preventing fraud, identifying fraud. I guess in the legal profession, you're at the end of this. Where could AI be used in your bits of business to protect against the bad guys?
I was going to say, I mean, on our side, that two-factor authentication, that's really a big thing, especially like with the rise of cyber attacks. Again, it doesn't stop them. They're still kind of getting into your data, but you're certainly more protected if you've got the two-factor authentication enabled.
So you cracked up a little bit on me there. I don't know, that was with Iain.
Yeah, it was a little bit crackly, but I mean, again, yeah, with exactly the same. It's the two-factor authentication, and just, I mean, as long as the day is long and the night is long, people are always going to try and break things and crack things, and as you say, with cyber security, cyber crime, even more so, it's going to happen. So I think we just,
Well, I mean, can AI? Can you see it in your world? AI being used as a tool to initiate crime. I mean, again, we're getting to that. My criminal AI. If it's better than
your criminal
AI,
yes.
I was going to say, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. This is why it needs to be regulated. But how they're going to do it is obviously a big question mark at the moment. But it learns, doesn't it? And, it's scary to think about the stuff that they could learn. That I can see it going the other way, but this is where it needs to be regulated. But yeah, how they're going to do it, I don't know.
But I mean,
they can't regulate the criminals. I mean,
ethical
we've tried to do that for a while, haven't we? Don't be naughty. But if their AI is smarter than your AI, I mean, again, I'm a Trekkie, and I love the Star Trek and that sort of science fiction. It's obviously the engineer in me, and we see a society in the future where there is no money, people just do their stuff and get plenty to eat.
So now, isn't it already? Isn't it there?
Well, but I mean, if we got the AI sort of fighting, the criminal AI fighting with the legal AI, and whoever's smarter wins, could we see in the future the actual economy, money disappear? We just get on and make enough food for each other and have a nice life. Could this be the start of that completely cashless, moneyless economy. We just keep on working, and everyone just rocks up and does their bit, or is that just a step too far?
That's a very deep thing for a Tuesday morning in September. That one, but there was a film, wasn't there, which I can't remember. I mean, you're the techie, the Trekkie rather. But there was a film, wasn't there, which just sprung to mind when we were on about that then, where it was humans and the AI, and the AI basically became more and more intelligent, and basically tried to take over the world. I can't remember what.
That's Terminator, isn't it? Skynet.
Well, there was a Terminator type, wasn't it? But it was the computers, wasn't it, where they were basic. I can't remember what it was called.
There's an old one, wasn't there? HAL. Was it 2001: A Space Odyssey? But that's a bit out of date, I guess.
No, it's more recent than that. I can't for the life of me remember what it was. And as you said, they ended up basically the humans had to retaliate by trying to blow up the computers, and that's it. And because they.
Where's the next year going to go? If you just step a little bit away from the microphone, Aludia, you're cracking up a little bit.
Okay.
That's it. Oh, that's beautiful.
Is that better?
That's perfect. So the next year, what's the next year going to hold for Aludia and Sempar with the sort of AI? I was looking at just the amount of AI apps that are going on there. I mean, AI is getting involved with all the Zeros and the Sages, and I mean, there's a hell of a lot of accountancy AI apps knocking around now, and they're coming thick and fast. And the same thing in the legal AI. I mean, I saw a thing that was sent out 5 days ago. The 7 best legal assistants AI. You got Legal Robot, One Law, Patent Pal, Law Geeks. Geek had to come into this eventually, didn't it?
Yeah.
And you know, it's keeping up with it. We're going to need AI to keep up with the AI that's coming through. Where do you see you next year? How are clients going to be effective? Because I noticed you both said about, reducing costs, making things more efficient. And to be fair, we've never seen a poor lawyer.
Oh.
So if you're reducing costs, what are you going to do more of?
I think from our side of things, it's going to be making things more efficient, so streamlining. But as for the next year, I think it'll creep in. And if it works well, clients won't necessarily be affected by it. So obviously, as I say, why we're seeing it coming in at the moment is on the onboarding, and I can see that as Aludia said, doing more of the mundane tasks. So from my side of things on the litigation, possibly preparing bundles, paginate, we've got things like that already touch on that side of things. So it'll be the more mundane costs that will be absorbed rather than the actual professional services costs.
Okay, Aludia.
Yeah. I mean, for our business, this is why I suppose that you've got me and our business that I head our kind of tech department, because like you said, technologies, it's constantly evolving on a day-to-day basis, and we need somebody to be able to keep on top of those. And I suppose that's my job. But with our clients, in terms of, reducing costs, what we try to do with them is, they could have somebody working full-time, working on their finance function. But actually, if you bring in, a bit of technology in-house and automate some of the processes, you might only need somebody, 2 days a week rather than, paying for somebody full-time. Or if it is that you've got an owner-managed business, doing those tasks, actually, we can bring in, AI to do those tasks for them, so they can just, focus their time on growing the business rather than kind of being in the day-to-day of the business. But also, it's there to kind of support their long-term plans as well. So it might be that actually they want to step back a bit from the business. So that's where, AI has been really useful to them. And it's just being able to continue to keep on top of the, latest technology to continue to sustain that, really. So.
It's blowing my mind. All of this is so. I mean, as far as the people who use your services are concerned, I mean, again, one of my things, I'm looking at it and going, it feels to me like the accountancy world is going to change so rapidly. They should be very afraid because,
Absolutely.
you know, you mentioned earlier about being advisors.
Yeah,
How are you
that's what
gonna?
we're trying to focus on, really, because, like I said, this technology. I mean, people are going to be able to probably submit their own accounts to, companies' houses and submit their own taxes to HMRC. So really, we want to be spending most of our time on the added value stuff rather than just the compliance stuff. Because, like I said, you guys as business owners will be able to do that yourselves in the future. So to be able to sustain our business, we need to be focusing on the added value stuff.
And I've been to your offices, and your offices don't look like your traditional accountancy type offices. It feels more like walking into Google than it does an old accountancy office. I mean, you guys are at the forefront of this, clearly, of all tech. I've never seen so much tech, and this looks like it's the future. And I'm looking at Iain in the background. He's still got his load of books behind him, which is very impressive. And
and I've got a green screen. Have you seen many accountancy with green screens?
No, I haven't. So Iain, what are you gonna do apart from fighting this this increasing level of legislation? Keeping you'll be able to identify where people need your help easier, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to how we started. There's two sides of the fence. There's the gloom and doom, or there's the saviours of the world. And I think no matter what, it's going to happen. So we've got to move with it. As Aludia said, accountancy, professional services are moving on that side of things. So that the legal profession is going to have to move with it. It's going to have to grow with it. It's a profession that can't get left behind because we need, unfortunately, lawyers are required for whatever aspect we're needed. So we're going to have to move with it. It's going to push comfort zones. It's going to push boundaries. And we're going to have to grow. And again, as I say, about 50 years' time, we might be there or thereabouts.
What does that mean for both of your industries? People coming into the accountancy or the legal profession, are they going to be different types of animals than was there 20 years ago, or the set? I mean, what will people turning up in your industry look like? The people who are 18, doing their A levels now, thinking about going in, making a career. How different are they going to look, or is it just going to be same old, same old?
Well, I think from my side of things, that you can ask every generation the same question, can't you? So you go back to the 1800s and where your lawyers are sitting there with a quill, and a scribe and doing it that way, and then I can remember
doing that though, aren't they?
Absolutely. And when I came into the profession, it was a big thing when we got desktop computers and the fax machine and it was all so progress. Don't fear it, I suppose. So I think the youngsters coming into the profession will just grow with it and move with it, and they won't know any different.
Yeah, absolutely. God, I can remember when I was training. We're doing analysis on like A3, pieces of paper, calculators with till rolls. God, imagine like just presenting those to, our younger generation nowadays. They're going to be like, what are those? But like Iain said, they're used to the technology now. So, they're just embracing it basically. So, but we're quite lucky that we are in the position, where we have got the technology in house, and that we can just train them and, use the facilities, effectively to be able to grow our own people, really.
Cool. We've got a couple of minutes left. I just want a final word from Iain and Aludia about where the industry is going, what clients can be looking forward to, and the sun's shining bright, I'm hoping.
Not in Newcastle, it isn't at the moment, Roy. No. Pretty grey and wet at the moment. So, I mean, from our side, I think we've got to grow with it. Clients, will hopefully be not necessarily see any difference in the service that they're getting, or if they are, it will be a slightly streamlined, faster, slicker service. And as you said, as a profession, we've got to grasp it and run with it, or get left with it.
And Iain, how can people get hold of you?
So obviously I'm at Beeston Shenton's Newcastle office. We've got my email address, which is my name with the stops, and beestonshenton.co.uk. And contact number is Stoke number 662424. So that's 01782 662424.
I love that. The Stoke number.
Stoke number. We've got Stafford office as well, you see. We have a Stafford office as well.
Oh, right. Aludia, final word, and how can they contact you?
Yeah, I'd say, similar to Iain, just absolutely embrace it. Don't be afraid to make the move and just, make the change, really. I know we're all kind of afraid of changes, but, there's businesses out there that you can rely on to obviously help you with transition, like us. But yes, in terms of contact details, everyone can obviously visit our website so they can know more about us and what we do. It's
which is
sempar.co.uk. Sorry, Roy, broke up a bit then.
No, sorry.
And then our office telephone number is 0330 2233 660, and we are also based in Staffordshire, so Camel Road in Stoke.
And it's a fantastic office. You should get people down there to have a look at it.
Yes.
I've never seen nothing
everyone's
like
welcome.
It's like walking into the Starship Enterprise. It's brilliant. So brilliant. Thank you very much. We got there. We'll be back with some other subject, I'm sure, in the future.
Absolutely.
That's us. It's exactly half an hour, so we're off ski. Just wave bye and say nice things, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.